Okay, we're heading into the winter months. It's December 1st currently as of filming time. So we have our first really true winter beer of the season that we're going to try. From Southern Tier, this is Old Man Winter Ale. It's been around for a while. Has a history on Beer Advocate since 2003. So one of the older winter ales of the craft brewery scene. Of course, Southern Tier Brewing Company out of Lakewood, New York. And this is an old ale, so we're putting it into a snifter today. Not too much high in the ABV for an old ale. It's about 7.5%. I believe that's what it is. 7.5, yes. Date of birth, October 11th, 2017. So about a month and a half old or so, maybe a little bit more than that. So definitely drinkable, still in the fresh category, I'm sure. A new look for the label since as of this year, actually. So this batch that was brewed in 2017, I guess. New label. I don't know anything about the old label, but kind of a nondescript. It just says Old Man Winter Ale. Not really any fancy kind of picture of an old man with a big white beard or Santa Claus or anything like that. Just kind of a nondescript facade here. We're going to look for a brown and ruby hue pour. We're going to look for 3 hops and 2 malts, which was used in this old ale. And a cocoa and kind of a nutty kind of flavor, too, is what we're looking for in this. Anything else? There's no blurb on this. There is a bit of a paragraph or two in the description of this beer. It's more of a kind of a story kind of thing. Maybe not even a story, but just a, hey, it's winter, an old man, winter's blowing, you need to be warm, and that kind of thing. So really nothing informative in the description of Old Man Winter Ale. So let's open it up and pour her into this snifter and see what we get. And yeah, we do see a brown pour with a nice head on it. Just pour the whole darn thing in here because it's a big snifter. And yeah, nice frothy, cheerful look to this beer. As you can see, maybe a bit of a dark brown, almost, yeah, reddish. Yeah, I can see the ruby in this as well. So it is as advertised with the pour. On camera, it might show up to be a little bit darker than it actually is. But I'm seeing kind of a glow. Can't really see my hand through it. So there's a lot of stuff going on here in this beer. So let's get the aroma now of Southern Tier Old Man Winter Ale. Getting a lot of maltiness. Not really getting much of the cocoa in the aroma, that is. But just a chewy kind of smell to this beer. Very deep malt kind of smell. Candy-ish almost, but not quite sweet candy. Or too much sweet candy, I should say. Maybe a hint of chocolate. But not too much. It's got a very pleasant, syrupy, maybe molasses kind of aroma to it. So let's get the taste now of Southern Tier Old Man Winter Ale. Definitely has full legs to this. A little bit of a tiny bit of bitterness on the back of the throat. Very tiny bit of roasty toastedness. A bit of lacing and a bit of the syrupy molasses. It really interacts pretty well with the hops. I will say that. Not getting too much of the cocoa-y kind of flavor. Not really getting too much of a Christmassy taste. Not that it's supposed to, but not really getting any nutmeg or anything like that, which probably is a good thing. But this is a winter ale. Definitely get getting the chewy notes on the beer, and a very deep kind of taste that you want to associate with winter. So I'm going to go ahead and give a Southern Tier Old Man Winter Ale. I'll give it an 8.5 out of 5. I really think it looks like a nice chewy beer. Aroma a little tiny bit lacking. I like the malt kind of aroma, but I think a little bit more could have been done with the scent of the beer. Maybe amplify a little the peppery notes that is advertised on this beer as well. Which I don't think I went into. That was also an advertisement as far as aroma goes. It was supposed to be peppery. Didn't really get that too much. And the taste is very, very good. A little bit, maybe too much of a bite at the back of the tongue. It is a 7.5% ABV beer. Maybe that's a little bit of maybe a half a point off for that. But overall, just a very solid effort by our friends at Southern Tier. So 8.5 out of 10 for Old Man Winter Ale.